What's up, YouTube? I'm Anthony. I'm back. Today I'm reacting to the NBA playoffs are getting weird. Let's get it. Suns versus Bucks in the finals.
That might just be one of the greatest playoff shots I've ever seen. KD with a game-tying dagger, inches away from sealing the deal. That is definitely not getting topped for a long time.
Crowder looking, throws it alley. Ayton puts it down.
Well, that didn't take long. This year's playoffs have been wild. Unpredictable matchups, crazy endings, airtight game sevens, and a new wave of teams and players fighting for their first title. I can't remember the last time the playoffs were this entertaining. Trae Young has become the villain we didn't want, but desperately needed. There's no super teams remaining, and the most recent title out of all four of these teams was 50 years ago. So the results of this playoff will be historic no matter how you split it.
Comment down below who you guys think is going to make it to the finals. How many games you think they'll win it in. Go for it.
Clippers to the conference finals for the first time in franchise history with no Kawhi. The Suns ascended from the depths of NBA hell to now being one of the favorites to win the title. And Ben Simmons can't shoot. But we already knew that. But
in my other video,
as the playoffs have been, it hasn't come without its own set of setbacks
Doc Rivers after the Game 7 loss.
Now, personally, I'm enjoying all the young new faces we are seeing throughout the playoffs. Teams that aren't synonymous with deep postseason runs and players that we aren't used to seeing under the playoff spotlight. But the lack of star power in the four teams remaining is a bit odd and completely unprecedented. Out of the 15 players that were named All-NBA this season, only 3 are remaining in both conference finals if we do not include Kawhi, who is out indefinitely. Where's all the stars? Well, they're at home, out of the playoffs, recovering from injuries. So far in the playoffs, there have been 9 All-Stars who have missed considerable time on the court. 9.
Really though, I thought the Nets were gonna say. I thought it was gonna be Nets versus Lakers,
or at least this last run this team will have to make to win a title is easier or less exciting than past seasons. And this couldn't be further from the truth. As a fan of the game, do you know how exciting it is to see a young guy like Devin Booker showcase his skill on the biggest stage? For a third-year player like Trae Young to lead the Atlanta Hawks to the conference finals? For complementary players like Terrence Mann, Bogdan Bogdanovic, and Mikal Bridges to get reps in these huge moments and come up big like they've been there before?
Really,
we all know how exciting it has been to watch the future of the league and young guys like John Collins and DeAndre Ayton step up and play like NBA vets in their first ever playoff appearance. The Clippers, Suns, and Hawks in the conference finals.
They really were. Look at the Suns.
Am I in an alternate
Oh, I just missed it. Let me go back. Look at the Suns. They were dead last. They were 19-63. Booty Lakers at 10. But damn, now everything's switched.
Am I in an alternate universe or something? This is what happens when the league is more balanced. Granted, this balance came in the form of injuries and a weird COVID year. Nonetheless, the reality of winning a championship is very real for all of these teams. And because of that, we are seeing each and every one of these teams fight tooth and nail for their spot in the history books, which I think we can all agree beats the idea of a super team running through the playoffs without breaking a sweat. And speaking of super teams, my pick to win it all is officially out of the playoffs. After losing Kyrie to an injury in the second round and James Harden shuffling around on one leg, the Brooklyn Nets were in a rough spot just 3.5 games into the second round. But I want to take a moment to give praise to the absolutely magnificent performance by Kevin Durant.
KD, bro, that
through
monster.
all the injuries and setbacks, the Nets were just inches, literally inches, away from the Eastern Conference Finals thanks to an incredible series and an all-time Game 7 performance by Durant.
I remember.
9 rebounds, 6 assists, and a Game 7 playoff record, 48 points. This was a masterclass in the game of basketball. Spoiled by his size 18 shoes. But you want to know something crazy? As incredible as his Game 7 performance was, this wasn't even his best game of the series.
Good crush the defense by Milwaukee now. Durant fires and hits.
Yeah, dude.
He hits from downtown.
49 points, 17 rebounds, 10 assists on...
Durant fires and hits.
49 points, 17 rebounds, 10 assists on an 82% true shooting percentage, topped off with a 26-foot game-winning dagger only Kevin Durant could manufacture. This man had 20 points in the fourth quarter to dig his team out of a 16-point deficit and come away with the win. This Game 5 was Durant's masterpiece, the best game of his entire career. And it really isn't even close. To put this incredible performance into perspective, before Game 5, KD's highest game scores in a playoff game were 35.1, his best playoff game during his time with the Thunder, 2 games with a game score of 38.5, 38.8, which came in his 50-point performance against the Clippers 2 seasons ago, and 39.6, which came in the finals 3 seasons ago when he dropped an efficient 43 and 13. But Durant's Game 5 against the Bucks on Tuesday was far, far better than any game he has ever played in the playoffs in his entire career. In fact, Durant's Game 5 against the Bucks was far better than any game he has had in his entire career. Every all-time great player has a career-defining single-game performance. This was KD's, his masterpiece. What's even more insane is where Durant's game ranks all-time in single-game playoff game scores. Of every single playoff game since 1977, these are the top 10 best performances according to GameScore. Durant's highest playoff game score in a single game going into Game 5 ranked just 63rd all-time. But after a historic outing, KD now owns the 3rd best single playoff performance since the creation of the stat, after being down 17 in a series-altering Game 5. The box plus minus of every net starter that game, negative 12.8, negative 11.8, 2.7, negative 12.1, and 24.6.
Plus 24.
But look closely at this leaderboard of all-time great playoff games. And, you see anything interesting?
Charles Barkley, Damian Lillard. No ring.
Damian Lillard, all the way at the top, with the greatest individual playoff performance since 1977. Talk about an underappreciated performance. I think collectively the NBA community talked about this game for, I don't know, about 24 hours, and that was about it.
Do
y'all even know what we witnessed that game from
day? Watching this
game. The greatest individual playoff performance in modern NBA history. 55 points on a 97% true shooting percentage. 10 assists, 17 points in overtime alone, an NBA playoff record, 12 threes in the game, all to lose by 7 in the second overtime. Which means chances are this mind-melting performance will probably be lost and buried among the other all-time great games that apparently don't matter because it didn't result in a win. And these insane stat lines and masterful offensive outbreaks will inevitably become less and less rare because, as we've discussed before, NBA players are getting more skilled, more savvy, and more offensively gifted every season.
Fun to watch
At the moment, Kevin Durant is 3rd all-time in points per game in the playoffs, only behind Michael Jordan and Allen Iverson. But what if I told you that LeBron James, Donovan Mitchell, Anthony Davis, Stephen Curry, Nikola Jokic, and Damian Lillard all cracked the top 15 highest points per game in the playoffs as well? The league's been around for 75 years, and somehow half of the best playoff scorers ever are all in the league right now. And this doesn't even include players who don't have enough games to qualify for this list, like Luka Doncic and Trae Young. And if we take another look at the top playoff game scores of all time, you'll see that out of the top 100 playoff game scores since 1977, 28 came in the last 4 seasons. For perspective, it took 15 seasons from 2003 to 2017 for the NBA to produce the same amount of top 100 all-time playoff games. In other words, NBA players are balling out of their minds.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, if the Clippers win it all, Paul George wins his 1st ring, Kawhi wins his 3rd, the Clippers franchise will finally join the champion circle, and we may never hear the Pandemic P nickname ever again.
I'm watching this after Game 6.
If the Suns win, Chris Paul will finally and deservedly reach the mountaintop and will forever be a champion. And we will never hear the end of the Devin Booker Kobe Bryant comparison. If the Bucks win, Giannis will get his 1st ring, and the idea that his game isn't suited for playoffs should.
Never left the Suns, even when they were booty and all the way at the bottom of the league. He didn't demand a trade or anything, which is good. He stayed loyal.
And if the Hawks win, Trae Young will officially be crowned the GOAT by, what's the population of Atlanta? 500,000 people. But no matter what happens, from here on out, we are on a collision course with history in the making. And in the end, only
Sports are
one team will
amazing.
survive to tell the tale. Hope you all enjoyed, and as always, until...
That's it. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. If you enjoy the video, leave a like. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more videos like these. And peace.